Merry Christmas everyone, this is Nitrofusion here and welcome back to another video, and today we're taking a look at something that is actually very controversial. Some suggest that it is the future of humanity and it could provide clean sustainable energy, but something that it's very dangerous and it has already killed hundreds of thousands of people and it might be the cause for potential global destruction in the future. Some stereotypes of it are nukes, Hiroshima and Nagasaki, Chernobyl and Fukushima. I guess you have figured out what it is already. Yes, today we are taking a look at nuclear fission. But of course, before we get into the video, why not leave a like and subscribe so you wouldn't miss any more awesome videos of mine. Anyways, without any further ado, let's get into the topic then. So straight up, the term nuclear fission describes the process in which an atom splits in two, releasing a tremendous amount of nuclear energy along with some radiation in the process. The term is always confused with nuclear fusion, and I don't blame you because when I first learned the words I was also confused. But a good way to distinguish them is that nuclear fusion fuses stuff together, and fission, well, there are two S's, so that might mean two products or something. Anyways, the way nuclear fission works is by bombarding the target fuel, which would be a heavy radioisotope, such as the famous uranium-235, with a neutron, and becoming an unstable isotope that is one neutron more than the original fuel. The unstable isotope would then split in two, giving out a lot of energy in the process. It would also release some free neutrons, which would continue the reaction, and some gamma radiation, which is what we commonly refer to when we say radiation, as it is the most penetrating and most harmful out of the three will be released. Nuclear fission was discovered in 1938 by two German scientists, Fritz Strassmann and Otto Hahn. The first nuclear fission reactor is the Chicago Pi-1, built in 1942. It is a self-sustaining nuclear reactor that outputs a tiny 0.5 watts, which is about the power of a small LED light bulb, although the light bulb is likely to break before the reactor runs out of power. The first nuclear detonation, codenamed Trinity, happened in 1945 in the USA as a part of the Manhattan Project, which is in short a project to make nukes. The detonation also caused the birth of one famous quote from our dear old Robert Oppenheimer: "Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds." The only use of nuclear weapons on civilians is the famous Hiroshima and Nagasaki bombings. Two atomic bombs, codenamed Fat Man and Little Boy, were dropped and more than 200,000 were killed. Even to this day, the bombing of Hiroshima and Nagasaki is still a popular debate subject in history classes. But we are not here to discuss whether the bombing of Hiroshima and Nagasaki are ethical or not. We must continue in time. So, currently, nuclear fission power plants produce around 10% of the global electricity, with just 440 power plants. Mind you, there are around 62,000 power plants in the world in total, so if we do some maths, 0.7% of the world's power plants provided 10% of the world's electricity. Mad, isn't it? So, the way a nuclear fission power plant works is by starting a controlled nuclear fission chain reaction, which produces a lot of heat, which boils the water, which then becomes steam, which goes through the turbine generating electricity. To control or shut down the reactor, control rods, which is made of neutron absorbing material, will be inserted between the fuel to slow down or stop the reaction. Currently, the largest nuclear power plant in the world is the Kashiwazaki Kariwa power plant in Japan. It has a rated capacity of 7,965 megawatts, so it's almost 8 gigawatts of power. It is the largest power plant in the world in terms of rated capacity if excluding hydroelectric dams. Sadly, after an earthquake in 2011, it has ceased operation and it is unknown whether it will operate again. So then the largest power plant is the Kori power plant in South Korea, with an also very impressive rated capacity of 7.5 gigawatts. So that's all nice and good, but there are many problems with nuclear fission that are waiting to be solved in the future. Of course, first of all is that deadly radiation. There are three types of radiation: alpha, beta and gamma radiation. Alpha radiation, because it is a literal atom, can be blocked out easily and will not cause any harm. The beta radiation is an electron or positron that is high energy and could penetrate our body and cause potential DNA mutation, but it could be blocked easily by sheets of aluminum, so it is still not too dangerous. But gamma radiation is the most deadly of the lot. First of all, because it penetrates nearly anything. It could be stopped by a thick layer of lead, but hey, are you going to wear a 100kg lead suit everywhere you go? Obviously not. And also, the gamma radiation can literally burn you from the outside and the inside. First your skin will burn, and then your DNA inside the cells will be literally ripped apart, causing further damage to the organs and finally killing you. So dying to radiation isn't pleasant. Even if you were not exposed to a dangerous dose of it, it might still cause nausea and bleeding out of nowhere. So it still isn't pleasant. For obvious reasons, I will not show images of people suffering from gamma radiation, but if you are interested, you go and watch some Hiroshima, Nagasaki, Fukushima or Chernobyl documentaries. But I strongly suggest that you do not watch it after eating. And these events proved that if not treated properly, nuclear fission is very, very dangerous, as seen in these incidents. Now, if you don't know about these nuclear disasters, I do suggest you again to watch some of these documentaries. They will take you a fair bit of time, but I think you will get much more information than me just spending a minute and skipping through everything, so please forgive me. But all in all, nuclear fission is a relatively clean, relatively sustainable, very efficient and very powerful way to produce energy. Together with nuclear fusion, nuclear energy is undoubtedly the energy of the future, despite many hazards that come with it. I believe with enough funding and support, nuclear energy will thrive and make the world a better place. That's all for today's video. Thank you so much for watching, Merry Christmas, and I will see you in the next video.